everything right, and then the winner was announced. And that's from the Ayawaso North NDC. The NDC has been successful both with regards to the presidential and then the parliamentary. So by and large, with Ayawaso North, everything went on successfully. At the national level, I believe that we have all seen some of the things, the unfortunate things that have happened so far, which has made the National Democratic Congress to dispute or not accept the outcome of the elections, because a lot of things that have happened makes the results of the election flawed. Elections in the Dakati, Ko Anini, the Kigaringa, you do the results in Daka to the Shi. There's a question mark around the results that were declared. So, by and large, the election in some constituency has been peaceful, but you cannot describe the elections that we have had in Ghana this year overall as very peaceful, transparent, and fair.
All right, hold on to that. Mukumurika Abdusamed, inshallah. Chairman.
Yes.
You've heard what your brother has said.
Yes.
Kai yakagani elections and the results that came afterwards.
Oh, salamu alaikum. Ina gaishe da mutane na yan Ayawaso North constituency, especially our former candidate Alhaji Manaf Usman, the entire mutane Ayawaso North constituency. To me, he has said a lot, and Ayawaso North constituency is one of the most peaceful constituency in Greater Accra or in Ghana as a whole. And Barana Akai election Ayawaso North, Kajikamam, Kaza, because we are all gonna live as a brother and sisters. Yeah, Akamuke live. And I check Ayawaso North is a violent area, Kaza, but at the end of the day, Akai election, Muna end up peacefully. Muna move together as a brother and sisters. Neither can any case among one day winning after the Mukai election, Shini Honorable Yusuf Jaja, and he's also my junior brother as well. And at the end of the day, election, 1 year win, 1 year lose. But when we go to general election, Agani, there is no any election in this world that is 100%. Because irrespective of whatever, when it is, it happen. So when number got to come on, you have to annul the entire results. My election akati. And if I can recollect my mind, 2012, when Atubuga, Atuguba, Eche, come John Mahama, ya win. Kokma right at the courts, ya got a come election won right at the polling station. Can't understand it. So at the end of the day, after verdict, Nanda Kumi and opponent way, because we are not enemies, we are all one. Skachewe and Rig and Kaza. So these are in this contention. So if there's no other facts towards it, court Nanda, if it's to tender. Yeah, exactly, so that the outcome, say the entire Ghanaians will see who is victorious.
Okay.
So I think.
So, Yawakundeji Abdusamed, the Vice Chairman, Ibrahim, and Suka sum up their views of the election and whoever emerged victorious. Nidakaina, I'm a constituent of Ayawaso North, and I observed the election there, and it was really peaceful. Yanzu Damushigachkin issues for today. Over the weekend, I think that was yesterday, His Excellency, the President of Ghana, Nana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo, addressed the nation one more time. It was the 20th. It is 2020, and the number 20 seems to be magical. And so the president addressed Ghanaians for the 20th time, and he mentioned so many things, including some of the measures that are required to keep COVID-19 virus at a low in the country so that it will not spread. And I'll take this story from My Joy Online. It says, beaches, pubs and cinemas remain closed during Christmas. That's according to the president. And he says, President Akufo-Addo has maintained the directive that cinemas, pubs and beaches will remain closed as part of restrictions adopted to contain the coronavirus. He made this statement during his 20th address to the nation on measures instituted by the government to fight COVID-19. Quote, beaches, pubs, cinemas and nightclubs remain closed until further notice. All other institutions that have been cleared to function are to continue to do so in strict adherence to the COVID-19 protocols, President Akufo-Addo said. These places have been closed since the country was placed under lockdown in March. With barely a week to Christmas festivities, President Akufo-Addo urged the citizenry to err on the side of caution and observe all the safety protocols as they hold their family reunions, parties and many social and religious gatherings. He also advised persons with underlying ailments such as hypertension, diabetes, chronic liver disease and asthma to pay particular attention to their health during the festive season. And the story goes on. So I'd like to start with you, Chairman. The president says we should observe all social protocols, and it says beaches, pubs and cinemas remain closed during Christmas. What do you make of the president's 20th COVID-19 address?
Yes, I think it's in the right direction, because if you look at Germany, America and other European countries, the same measures was put in place, because the COVID is a very, very, very deadly disease in which we should not have to toy with it. Because if our president put these measures and he directed all Ghanaians have to follow the directive of the president, because I think if our president said so, it's in the right direction. Because looking at currently what is happening in elsewhere, I watched on television yesterday, Al Jazeera and other foreign networks, and it wasn't easy. You understand, the COVID is triggered because this is a second phase of the COVID. So I think the second wave, it wasn't a small wave. So I think we have to take these measures and work with it, and which indirectly or directly, it will help us a lot so that we can curb this deadly disease. Because look, if you heard yesterday what the president said, he said he would do everything in his capacity to make sure Ghana would not left out this new vaccine. Exactly. He would do everything possible to make sure Ghana will also acquire the medicine, so that at least with that it can curb and help to minimize this COVID disease. So I think for the president to call to Ghanaians, it's good for Ghanaians to follow his directive so that we can help him and help ourselves too at the same time. So I think this is what I have to say concerning about what the president said yesterday.
But the president says pubs, beaches and all those public spaces would be closed.
Yes.
Is it the case that those places are closed? Don't need a kai monatafia monagan German atarua in pubs in front of betting centers and stuff. So is it the case, come on, President, Neade for the co acquire measures being put in place are ensure one?
Okay, when you listened to the president yesterday, Kagan Kamam, at a point, yeah, Gwada Kamam, we try as much as possible. Nzamu gathering, we should open place, not in a place in the Zama Kamang Akanga, we gather a lot of people in that place because we want to look at it help in a spread virus. But in Yazamani open place, Kagan Iska na tafia da kumi in which minimize. Kagan, when you go to pub or cinemas, Kaduba is a close environment in which it will not help. And Kagan Kowana Kara, Kowana Magana, Kowana Kwakma, the virus in a transfer from yes, close contact communication, Kowana Bakanga virus and a contract. So I think when the president and a bad one directive, Nankama is a right directive, just that as during this Christmas festivity, Kagani Anna Muna have larger gathering and so on and so forth. So with him calling for this directive, I think it's something that it will help the nation.
It will help the nation?
Exactly.
Okay, so far, Anna observe.
Currently, Nagan Kaman Kaduba, Gianida Kananati gathering, more than 6,000, more than 2,000 people. About when they sound no marks and so on and so forth. And here be the case, antivirus second wave, Yatashi. And second wave, very, very dreadful than first wave. So I think Bam observe. So Nagan Kama is a right time in the fee Moduka try as much as possible. So far as Muna try more help come Muna try more help the entire nation at the same time. So I think calling this observation and Nagan Kama is a right direction.
There's a general perception in the public that politicians only give mere rhetoric. How different would this be to the president when it comes to COVID-19? I mean, victory walk, happened. I'm sure Shika referred to.
Exactly.
And people were masked in the streets, came to close contact without observing the safety protocols. And these are people who have gathered to celebrate the president who is saying we are observing the protocol, we are maintaining the disease, we have done so well. And then the president goes ahead to say Ghana would not be left out when it comes to the vaccine. Shin ba mu yi kokarin kiyaye kanmu bane ko yana dai di muna ne, because if we have prevented the spread of the disease, do we still need the vaccine?
Yeah, as for the vaccine, we still need the vaccine because it's very, very important, in which it will help the entire nation as well, because it's similarly like a cholera, malaria. When it comes to, we can prevent all these sickness, but when it comes to after the prevention, definitely we need a medicine to be able to cure the incoming and the one that is already existing. You understand? So if the president call for the vaccine and so on, so I think it's in the right direction. But my only problem is that, as you said, we went to campaign, so many rallies, no nose masks, a lot of gathering, Muslim gathering, Christian gathering. I learned even yesterday in Germany, the police people, they broke in a church, and it was a Ghanaian community church.
Wow.
Yes, and they were not wearing a nose mask. They have to arrest all of them because of what? They defy the directive of the government. So I think it's in the right direction. We have to follow what the president said. You understand? It will help us one way
or the other.
But we have some lapses in which we have to try as much as possible to put it in place so that it can work for Mother Ghana.
Okay.
Exactly.
So, thank you very much. Abdul Samad, you've heard what Chairman has said about the President's 20th COVID-19 address. What do you make of the COVID-19 address? And if there are issues you feel you can respond to from what Chairman has said, you could go ahead.
Well, in all sincerity, yesterday's President's address, there was nothing new. It was just a rehash of what he has been saying all along. There was nothing new that really he said. I think he only came to remind Ghanaians that he's still the president of Ghana. That was all. And then trying to wish us a Merry Christmas in a very nice way. But there was nothing to me that I can really put my point to. When he talked about pubs and then beaches being closed, like my brother rightly said, yes, it is something that we should all, observe. But the reality is that I know beaches are opened. It may not be operating on a full scale, but when you go, like yesterday, I know people who went to La Beach. You understand? So the law is not being enforced. And the problem is that all of us are all guilty, the politicians, because there was rallies all over. There was people massing up all over the place. So when that the people started talking, but you people, you said COVID is still around. And then I think the Ghana Health Service came out with a report that, political gatherings that really lead to the spread of the COVID-19, so there's no problem. You understand? So immediately after elections now, we are hearing that the numbers are going up. Even in the midst of the pandemic, when we just came out of lockdown, and then the MPP organized their primaries, we saw some of the things that happened. You understand?
Yes.
So that gave birth to other people saying that, okay, if the ruling government or the people in charge who are making the laws for us to observe are flouting the rule, then what do you expect us to also do? Because I remember in the heat of the pandemic, some pastors who defied the orders and then organized their church service because they believed that whatever may be, Jesus will protect them, were arrested and put behind bars. And then some politicians also flouted the same law and they were left off the hook. You understand? So I believe that by and large, we are all part of the problem. But the truth of the matter is that we should be candid and be honest with ourselves that the COVID-19 protocols is not being observed. It's not being observed. The only places that probably observe it are the banks, places of institution where they strictly tell you wear the mask before you enter. Maybe when you go to the mall, you see the security men at the gates ensuring that you have put on your mask before you enter. But aside that, all the places is business as usual. Last time I went to the regional office of the NSS, somebody gave me his end of month this thing to go and drop because I'll be going to town. So he asked me if I get to town, I should just drop it for him. When I got there, I think I was the only one in the nose mask. The rest of the people over there was a queue. Nobody was. So I'm like, you go out with your mask and you look more or less like a stranger. So basically, the president's address is a rehash of what he has said previously. It is up to the authorities to make sure that what the president has outlined, they should go to the beaches and make sure that the law is observed. If the beach, and for me, one of the problems I have is that the beach is an open area. So we can organize keep fit walks without nose masks, but we can't go to the beaches. That is the argument some people make. Because he said that the beach is also not an enclosed place. The beach is open. So you get it. And if you look at it, I don't remember, but I don't think that the ban on the church and then the mosque to take 100 people has been lifted. I don't know. I stand to be corrected. I know the president gave the opportunity for mosque and churches to operate.
Yes.
At about, I think, 100 or so.
Yes.
I don't know whether he has opened up that all the churches and mosques can operate at full capacity. I don't know. I stand to be corrected.
You know many that are operating at full capacity.
What?
You know many mosques and
Of course,
Okay.
all mosques. At least I can see. I can't talk for churches because I don't go to church, but I know every mosque. I remember where I observed my Juma prayers. When during they used to observe strictly the COVID-19 protocols. They even made what do I call it, like a paper like this, what's it called? What's his name? What they used to, I've forgotten the name of this thing now. They made it and then they stapled it in a rubber and then put it on the floor. Observe social distancing. So that thing was between a meter between everyone. So when you enter, the thing is already placed there, so you can't stand there. So there was distance, and the imam before he will offer the Juma prayer will advise everybody to wear his nose mask. I think when he started, they had people who stand at the gates and tell people, and they were holding it, selling it to people. But the truth of the matter is that it has been thrown to the dogs now. When you go to that mosque, that thing has been thrown out. Nobody wears a mask. You wear the mask and you enter. So I think basically that is. But we pray that the vaccine that has been introduced will work, and then God will help us get a solution to arrest this COVID-19 so that the world will again become a better place. I think.
Is it the case that Ghana is winning the fight against COVID-19, which is allowing all these things to happen? Is that the case?
Basically, I would say Ghana has been lucky, or I would say Africa in general. I think scientists up to now have not been able to say what really is it that we don't see Africans dropping dead. Because when the thing started and what the experts say, they said that when it gets to Africa, then you will just line up on the street
Mass
and die.
destruction.
Yes. It will just be deadly. But fortunately for us, we are not. There are people in Africa. I don't think there's anybody in America or Europe who believe that COVID is not there. But there are people in Africa
who don't believe
that. Is people who are learned, who will tell you that guy. The government is just bringing up the numbers. No, it doesn't exist. It's not true. These are people who should know better. The reason is that he will tell you that in his area, he has not seen anybody with COVID. Nobody has dropped dead. So I think that maybe there is something that is making Africa to be saved from this deadly pandemic that has hit the world. But by and large, maybe as we go on, the scientists will be able to come out with reasons why Africa has survived. Because we are living more dangerously than the whites.
As we speak, there's a new variant of the COVID-19, and it is rampant in the UK. And so you have EU countries banning travelers from the UK and trying to take measures to prevent the spread of this new variant of the COVID-19, because so as we speak so far, there's no way of addressing it, and the vaccines have just come on board. The president is assuring us that when it comes to the vaccines, Ghana would not be left out. But is there any measure being taken from his speech to indicate that this new variant from the UK would be prevented from reaching Ghana? Do you feel there is something like that happening?
I honestly, I don't see anything like that. What I've seen, like I said, is that we have been lucky. When the thing started somewhere in March, you could see the government was taking measures to make sure that things don't get out of hand. There was a lockdown, just 3 weeks, And then they said, no, we have to leave this lockdown because the economy will not be able to sustain another this thing. So the lockdown was lifted, and then it was. And ever since the announcement of the lockdown, many Ghanaians felt that the pandemic is over in Ghana. That was when business as usual started.
But you have people go out, attend rallies, people mass up, go for walks, people mass up to protest. Is it the case that they have not been made to understand that this thing exists, or they just choose to do what they want?
That's what I'm saying. So because of the lack, that's, I don't know, like I said, I will put it now because I don't have any scientific basis to prove why Africa or Ghana, for that matter, is not suffering. But comment and for you is muna da wani rabo. Ka understand? So Allah ya sa mutane ba su ciwo suna fadiwa game da wanga ciwo.
Okay.
Shi yasa ya bari mutane, amma kamar yanda yake government nan dai at least na ba su credits kamar lokacin da abin ya fito in March, you could see kamar shakwai ababen da ake son ya address issue nan. But ina gan zuwa June, July, shana yan kamar Charlie after all ma ba wani mutuwa ke ba. And mun rabo, so we lowered our guard. No two ways about that. Har aka zo, and government is an interested party. Kamar da je elections. It's an government na kamar mu campaign ai. No wasa, I will not be able to meet my people and tell them my policies so that I win the elections. So let us close one eye and pretend we are seeing everything. Can't understand that.
But is it just government or it's politicians in general?
Politicians in general. But I'm saying that the point is the Ghanaian people could have, indeed, the government in power, so the party in government, MPP, should observe happiness strictly. Okay, probably it will force the largest opposition party, the NDC, to do same. But the thing is that suzo sunga kama chale muka wa sawaranga susuna yin bari mami. Can't understand. I mean, the last rally before the elections, we all saw it at Odododio Manchester. Look at the number of people gathered over there. It was even that number that overwhelmed the president, and he even called his own candidates Nilanti Vanderpool instead of Nilanti Bannerman.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that by and large you have been lucky. But the government needs to do something, like you say, to prevent. I know when you get to the airport, there's a test, which some people say is on the high side, $150. I have somebody who said he wanted to come in this December, but because of that $150, he won't come. You understand?
Yeah.
But I think at least there are tests going on. So I pray that government will be able to put measures in place to make sure that that second wave or that variant of the virus that is happening in the UK will not get to Ghana, so that by and large the world will be able to survive this pandemic, and then life will come back to normal.
That's great. So we will move on to the next issue. So yawan kuna duban Baina News Store nan Baina TV, muna tare da Abdulsamad Isaka Bandago da kuma Ibrahim Sani, wanda yake shine Vice Chairman MPP daga Ayawaso North Constituency. Samed kuma shine Research Director Ayawaso NDC daga Ayawaso North Constituency da kuma campaign team member. Mun dai dan tattauna kan addressing President Akufo-Addo jiya da ya yi 20th addressing shi since COVID-19 ya zo this year. To cikin addressing shi ya kawo batun observation COVID-19 protocols da kuma yadda ya kamata Ghanaians mu tafiyar da lamarinmu in ya kai kan taruwa da abubuwa da dama. Shi na tambaye su biyun duka sun dace kan zance guda cewa mu nan cikin garin ga mutane yawanci ba su basu amince kama akwai COVID-19 ba, kuma politicians sun duba inda basu take advantage of the moment to allow mutane su participate cikin public activities kamar rallies da abubuwa ba, su sun lose during this year election year ne. Now it's time for us to move to our next issue, which is the NDC's vote rigging accusations. This seems not to go away, and it seems like it will stay with us. But for how long, and till when, till what is done? And I would like us to take it from one aspect with this story where the NDC demonstrators clash with demonstrators over the weekend clashed with the police in Kumasi, and it's like it's not the first one. The NDC has protested in different regions. We've seen, is it the Western North? We've seen the Ashanti region, is not the first time. We've seen in the northern region, in Accra just last week, people were arrested for picketing at the EC, around the EC premises. And this thing, it looks like it's going deeper because the NDC has accused the EC of rigging the elections in favor of the MPP, and then the EC has come out to reject or rebuff what the NDC is claiming. Chairman, what is happening?
Yes, to me, I think, though we are all politicians, and at the same time, when it comes to an issue of an election, we have to be circumspect with each other. You understand? Because this is an election that we went. And I think the election is free and fair. And at the end of the day, what may sometimes wonder me is that right at the polling station, NDC, they have their representative. MPP have their representative. The pink sheet was signed by both parties. Both parties has their pink sheet. From the constituency, from the polling station level, it went to constituency, from constituency to regional, from regional to national level. And all these steps, NDC, they have their representative. After everything, the Electoral Commission, they make their collation, the satisfied result that comes from all the region, all the system regions, before they declare the president-elect as the winner, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. And our opponent, NDC, they said the election was flawed, rigging. They started trumpeting this from onset, right before the election. You understand? They are not going to accept any verdict from the Electoral Commission. You understand? And even in US, no any country in this world that election went successfully, 100%. Irrespective of whatever, there will be itches. You understand? But my one question to the demonstrators, no amount of demonstration can turn the results of the EC. That is one. Two, once the results has been gazetted, you understand me, the only thing that you have is to go to court to seek a redress. If you know you have a substantial case to prove. You understand? And I keep on telling the youth that this demonstration, you people always go in. They lure you with money, you go for a demonstration. Ask yourself, did you see John Mahama children or any of his family? Or did you see His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, his family, or any of his relatives? No. It's a time we have to, and this is not the end of election in Ghana. There will be election up to thy kingdom come. So if today you go for a battle and you lose, that does not mean that tomorrow, if you come, you will not be victorious. Or that is the end of your life, or the end of election. You understand?
Yeah.
So to me, Ghana first. You understand? It happened in America. Donald Trump and Biden, after they elected Biden, Donald Trump said some of the states, he was cheated, he was this, he was that. But at the end of the day, he went to court. You understand? So this is a system in which Ghana we already put in place. You understand? But coming always demonstration, Ghana need peace. And we are peace-loving country. So I don't think we have to be fueling this or that. And most of the figures in which MDC always put in on their platforms and so on is 100% concocted figures. It's 100% concocted figures. Because if you go to the Electoral Commission, their own website, you collate the figures, you see it's 100% right. Codio, most of the observers, the result they have is the same result that Electoral Commission. And NDC, they contested that Electoral Commission, she came, she announced a result, later she came and corrected some figures. The verdict of Atuguba goes 6-3 against His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo and MPP. Later, he went back and go through his, and he saw that it wasn't 6-3, it was 5-4. You understand? So this is something, it's a any human institution, there will be human error. You understand? But all this thing and the correction doesn't change any figure between His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and my big brother, His Excellency
John.
Dramani.
So if I get you, you're saying the NDC should let go of what has happened, even though they, according to what they are saying, have evidence of rigging. And you made mention that Nana Addo and John Mahama's family, they are not on the streets. But these are the people fighting for John Mahama and Nana Addo's family, or they are fighting to ensure that their rights as exercised are manifested? Because ndeni na vote, she na sen kamangawa na vote ma, she results ezo, she results eche abawa na ka vote ma kinamba. Don't I have the right to go out in the streets to protest?
Kagani, that is the reason why Muke the one up Muna Kranshi court. If I have another problem, Mukate police station. She police egan common problem now. By a solve between Nidaki. The best place and the suke push Magana Nashini court.
That's best place, one of the best places.
Yes.
Ama protest is a means.
Protest is fundamental human right. One citizen of Ghana can understand it. One dispute one.
Come on, 2012, when the MPP went to court, prior to going to court, they protested massively. Okay.
It's 100%. It's their father. Ni banche come on protesting the NDC na against protest.
Can't understand. The only in the Nike against protesting and the shinimi. Also not protest. You face some peaceful.
Okay.
Some one by a take away human right. Anunka. Canada right can protest. Can't understand it. But when it comes to Yakai, one will get one bending of ties. What on so abubuana. One be help. Abubua. Because Kaduba 2012. NPP munyi demonstration ba shi nake fadi maka kama ni na zama most of the time advice na nake advise youth nan kama kana da right ka take a demonstration amma yau ni da ke mu yi makamu wazi mu tambe kanmu ni da ke muna zaman ga da safe abinci na ni da ke muka ci John Muhammad bai sani ba aka Nana Akufo-Addo bai sani ba abinci da za mu ci da rana aka John Muhammad bai sani ba aka His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo bai sani ba ka understand abinci da za mu ci da dare aka His Excellency former President John Muhammad da His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo ba su sani ba in yau families mu ba su da lafiya ba wanda ke zuwa ba mu kudi mu kai su hospital mu da kanmu ke wahala on our own muke kai su hospital mu nemi kudi mu kai families mu hospital but when it comes to election ya zama kamar has da kotoko mu duka ba mu ya mute waje guda wangana nan ga ba laifi ba ina zaman ga senior brother na shine deputy communication na NDC daga UK Ireland junior brother na kuma is executive member of UK, the Ireland, na NDC. Can understand? Ni kuma nananga, ni kuma first vice chairman, MPP, na Ayawa Sunov. Muna zama together, muyi fira, muyi komi da ko, mu share idea. Can understand? So that is the beauty of democracy. Nananga na che Yusuf Jaja is my brother. Ina kra na on phone. Ina kiran shi on phone mu yi fira understanding that is the beauty of democracy ni in politics ban san wanga NDC ban san wanga MPP because muhimmanci da zumunci da komi ya fi politics domin ya yi dai kamar muna front line muna wangan amma shanin politics kowa da interest shi can understand. I've been into politics because of the interest of the masses, not for the interest of myself. Okay. So in this regard, Nina plead the entire youth. Demonstration is good. Stacy demonstration, but with careful. Kakate kai wana binda zaka yi gobe. Ka zo maybe ka ci ciwo ka an zo an duba ka once ka daina sauran nan duka an bar an baki da family ka
to chairman na ce ka hold ka dan yaso mu je wurin danwa Abdulsamad daga bayan da akwai wani rebuttal na za ka shi mu kuma so viewers, you are still watching Baina News Store right here on Baina TV with me Jara. Our studio line is 0265455889. This is the line you can call in on to make your contributions, suggestions, and corrections if you feel the need to do that. And also, you can send your WhatsApp message via that line. Very soon we'll open the phone lines and you can join us. The number once again is 0265455889. And to the family watching us on our Facebook page, we are live. Like, comment, and share to make sure that the participation is wide. Brother Abdulsamad, you've listened to Chairman on his views and concerns when it comes to the protests, linking it to the NDC, supporters' activities in various regions and even in Accra recently. What are your views on that?
Well, I mean, like I earlier intimated, every right-thinking Ghanaian who has followed the elections of Ghana since 1992, who has been a keen follower of the elections in Ghana, will tell you that this year's elections is a flawed elections. If the NDC, the party that birthed the fourth Republican dispensation as we have it today, accepts this verdict, that means it is giving room for our democracy to be thrown to the dogs. There is no way any right-thinking Ghanaian will tell you that there is nothing wrong with these elections. The problem in this country is that there are a lot of people who have decided to go silent on some of the things that are happening now. If you look at, like he rightly said, he said the NDC had already given that warning or made that statement that we will not accept any flawed elections. We saw the signs on the wall that this is where it was heading to. There was a calculated attempt to make sure that Nana Akufo-Addo wins the 2020 elections. Right from the needless new voter register to so many things. Today, as we speak, some people were even disenfranchised by not having a member of parliament because of some voodoo analysis of the Electoral Commission. The people of Lulubi and Akwafu, who were part of the Hoy constituency. A day before the election, they were just told that, oh, you people, you can't vote in parliamentary, you only vote presidential. But the funny thing was that their presidential votes was added to the Hoy presidential votes, but they cannot vote parliamentary. So those people, as we speak, if you are going to the, I think this is the 7th parliament or the 8th parliament. 8th parliament, they will not have a representative.
But there will be a representative for the constituency in which they are.
They are not part of the constituency. That is what the EC told them. They said that a new district is being created for them, has been created for them, so they are not part of the Hohoi constituency. So they cannot, the one who won the parliamentary, Amiu, they cannot call Amiu as their member of parliament because they did not vote in the parliamentary.
But the fact that they haven't voted means they have been disenfranchised, but it doesn't mean they are not under the constituency.
They are not. So how can you vote?
So which constituency are they in now?
That's what I'm saying. So they said that there is a constituency that will be created called the Guan constituency.
Oh, the Guan constituency,
which has not been created. Now there is a legal battle as to whether it can be created before the new parliament is sworn in. Some are saying no, unless in 2025. So 2024 yes. Elections, then you have. So the people of that area will be there for 4 years without a representative. They cannot hold Honorable Pitamewu accountable because they didn't vote for him. They cannot hold Kofi Adams, who I think is the next closest constituency. They can't. So they don't have a representative, which is an affront to their fundamental human rights. These are some of the things that the EC has done. Now, let's even come to the real issues. When the EC was going to announce the results of the elections, she said the total valid votes that day, when she was, even we believe that it was pre-recorded, she said 13,434,574. That's what she said. Then she decided that no, there is a mistake, so she needs to correct that mistake that she made. And that's the thing. So on the 10th of December, she decided that she wants to she did a press release to correct the error that she made. And in that error, you know the funny thing, she quoted 30,434,574. That's what she said was the valid votes. And then she said that, she made a mistake. She's coming to correct it. So in their release on the 10th of December, they said the chairperson of the Electoral Commission inadvertently used 30,433,573. So even in their own correction, they still quoted the wrong figure. The woman did not quote 30,433,573. She quoted 30,434,574. So this 30,434,000 did not even feature in their correction again. They quoted a different figure. And that the real total valid votes were 30,190,460. So you ask yourself, how can a whole commission? We don't want to even put it because people said it's a commission, so she's not the only one in charge. There are others. So a whole commission create from somewhere was able to add 300,000 votes. Where from that votes? Now you made that correction. If I tell you currently we have 6 different figures for the total valid votes, so we don't know which is which. Then it came to, they changed it again to 30,572,000. They changed it again to 30,274,000. They changed it again to 30,433,000. I think that's what they have gazetted or something. So you realize that there are serious issues that need to be asked. This is basic arithmetic. You understand? So from the EC's own coalition, there are issues. Now you come to the real issues that the NDC is talking about. Right now the NDC is doing that, we are doing our auditing of the pink sheets. There are clear cases of overvoting. There is a place called in one of these areas, I think Tishman or so, or somewhere. I can't really recollect the place. But there's a polling station called Chira 1, GHS, I think it's a school. The total number of people registered at that polling station was 49. 49. And then when at the close of polls, the number of people that voted was over 400. So where from that number? It tells you that the EC, in collusion with the NPP in government, did things that were untoward to just...
How are you able to tie the NPP to what the EC is doing?
Some people who were NPP were arrested with hand-printed ballot papers.
And they were in collusion with the EC?
Of course. Who else gave them the EC's stamp, official stamp? This time, it wasn't like you arrest the person and then you get the paper and realize that, oh, this one is just, the EC stamp, it was official stamp with the official serial numbers. You understand? So the NDC has detected a lot of thousands of these things.
Thousands?
Thousands, according to our national communications officer. Thousands. The places where there are no number, where on the statement of poll, we are supposed to fill what we call the number of people who have been verified. You take a whole pink sheet in a constituency and you see hundreds of polling stations where the number of people who have been biometrically verified is not recorded. So how would you know that people voted once, twice? How would you know? And the law is clear. In a case where there is overvoting, that result should be annulled. You see, the argument is that, oh, these are some of the things that the MPP took to court. The MPP took cases to court, issues of duplicated serial numbers. They talked about unknown polling stations. These ones are damning serious issues that need to be addressed. You understand? And then when you look at the issues, they say, oh, go to court. The issue is that the court is one of the means to seek redress. Protest is a legitimate means of addressing or airing out your grievances to make sure that the right thing is done.
How do protests achieve results in this instance?
When you protest and you let the people know that this is what we need, or this is what we want to be done, the right thing should be done, you protest and the people will listen to you. Unless we decide that and say, okay, we are a high-handed government. So when you protest, we'll beat you on the streets.
That's
But
a possibility.
that's what I'm saying. The
And if
people,
the protests are not peaceful,
yeah,
there's a likelihood that the high-handedness you are talking about may be applied.
that's what I'm saying. The people who go on those street protests have not engaged in any rowdy behavior. Rather, it was a provocation of the police that led to that. So, for example, the other protests that were done, the day that they went to the EC offices, when they got there, nobody threw a stone. When they were there, they were just singing. And then the police decided that, hey, they said they did not get any, they didn't notify the police. And this law, we need to look at it. You don't need permission from the police.
It's not permission, it's notification.
Yes, so the police said, when they are talking, they don't say they didn't notify us. They say it is against the Public Order Act.
Yes, that's what it is.
In reality,
the police is supposed to provide guidance for protesters.
When things get serious,
yes.
When things get serious, you protest without telling the police, without notifying them.
And would you say that would you advise people to do that? I would
advise we do that, but I'm saying that if you realize the police itself is trying to use that means to frustrate you, because you can't go to the police and tell the police, oh, we want to go on, and then they'll start giving you excuse. Oh, it is Christmas period. Our people will be on the street. We don't have the men.
But then you've notified them, and so if you go ahead and do it, you have already notified them.
I have been part of a group that wanted to organize a demonstration when I was in Jimsa, way back in 2009. When you go, the police will always find an excuse. They don't want protest. Which police people want protest?
So assuming you are seeking permission from them, then they would have an excuse. But you are notifying them.
I'm saying when you notify them and tell them that, oh, we want to organize this protest on this day, and that since the Public Order Act states that we should notify you, I think 3 days or 2 days.
They will advise you.
You understand? Then they will start.
They will
start. Oh, you see, the day that you are going to use is not convenient. Our men will be, it is every day. If it is in March, they will tell you the independence is coming.
Granted.
If it is in February, they will tell you there's Valentine's Day. If it is, how do you call it? December, they will tell you there's Christmas. They will always have an excuse to frustrate you.
Granted. Yeah. So how does the NDC intend to make sure these accusations are represented as founded and then attain what they intend to attain?
That's what I'm telling you. We are organizing press conferences, telling the Ghanaian people the kind of fraud that has been perpetrated on the Ghanaian people. You understand? We don't believe that these elections that were held was legitimate. But elections
what can be changed about that?
What can be changed about it? That's what I'm saying. The court is one of the means by which we can seek redress.
The results have been gazetted.
But who says that when results are gazetted and then they find out that it's wrong, they cannot be changed?
Who finds out that it's wrong? Because the EC is maintaining that it is right.
Results gazetted and the people went to court.
They went to court seeking redress.
Did the court say that, oh, it's because it has been gazetted, so we think that your case is about
So the court sat on the case and then made a decision. But the protests,
not based on the gazette.
But the protests would not.
Protests are a legitimate means.
Yes.
Of airing out or making people aware of your grievances, that you are not happy with certain things that happened.
And the issue, and what many people feel is that, okay, so the protests, they make people aware. Already people are claiming, yes, it was rigged, they are agreeing with you. Now they have agreed with you. What will it change?
That's what I'm telling you, that the protest is a means by which things can change. I'm saying, by the world over, some of the great things that happened was through protest. Who went to court to remove Hosni Mubarak? Who went to court to remove, what's it called?
Hosni Mubarak stepped down.
Yes, it was because there was a massive protest. The people said, we don't want you. I'm saying that the NDC is not going to say that Akufo-Addo to step down. No. We are saying that we are protesting. The EC has the right today.
We are looking at a difference of 500,000 people plus.
Who says that? That's what I'm saying. Because of the pardon, clear case of pardon. Look, there are places where you look at the figures and you realize that what they did is that it was deliberate. They didn't add it by thousands. So you will see somewhere Akufo-Addo's vote has been increased by 190. Then John Mahama's vote has
So
been
you are
reduced
saying
by
the
100.
president didn't garner up to 6 million votes?
He garnered up to we can't tell because we are auditing.
Exactly the
So
point.
I'm
So
saying that
if you are going to protest 6 million people against 6 million people, do you think it will cause the change?
it will cause what. That's why I'm saying that if the right thing is done, the proper auditing of the pink sheet, the numbers comes, and then it shows that yes, the NDC has lost. We walk away. Like John Mahama said, he said he is not. Look, John Mahama has proven beyond reasonable doubt that he is an unflinching Democrat. This is somebody who was a sitting president. Look, President Nana Akufo-Addo in his life has never called anybody that he lost an election with and congratulated the person.
You cannot prove that. You cannot prove that. You cannot prove that.
What proof?
I'm not saying, I'm not disputing what you're saying. I'm saying you cannot prove it.
As Akufo-Addo,
yes,
in 2008 when he lost to,
he said never in his life. You don't know. You don't know all the.
I am telling
you don't know all
what,
the contests he has been to. Hold on to your guns. I'll come back to you.
Listen, I said presidential elections.
Hold on to your guns.
Other elections.
Hold on to your guns. I'll come back to you.
When he lost,
I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you.
In 2012, we all knew what happened.
So, Chairman,
Yes.
you had your in-law.
Yes.
You get more time. Your in-law has spoken.
Yeah.
Your in-law has spoken, and I'm sure you disagree with him on a few.
I 100% disagree with him.
What do you disagree
with
him
on?
on?
This is voodoo arithmetic. Because the problem in it is that him talking about this and that, padding and so on and so forth, I want to put him, for him to know. Is he trying to tell me the areas in which NDC has won for that place, who announces those results? Is it not the same Electoral Commission? Talking about Volta, Nordin, about where they won for that place is there is 100%. But where MPP won for that place, there is a flood, there is a rigging.
I think that's not what he's trying to say, because
no, through his whatever he's talking about, you can see clearly where he's directing to. You understand me? Because looking at this election, you said there is a flood, padding, so on and so forth. You have a pink sheet that shows this is the figure you people got, and so on and so forth. Proceed to court.
Is it necessary to go to court?
I'm coming. Demonstration upon demonstration will not change anything.
You mentioned, you said, Chairman, hold on. You said something in the beginning that it's a human institution.
Exactly.
Mistakes can be made.
Exactly.
If a human institution makes mistakes, can't they correct the mistakes without going to court?
The correct of the mistake, I can make a mistake right now by being writing right now, and I can just go back and recorrect it.
Yes.
You understand? That is what has happened in direct to what he's talking about when the day that she came out and announced the result.
But still, from objective analysis, you see that the numbers just don't add up. You give a number, you give figures today, you come and give figures the next day, and they don't add up. Is it not legitimate for people to fight to make sure that those numbers are corrected?
You know, the time that she came out and called the results, you understand? What happened was that they later saw that they missed some numbers, you understand? She came out and added it up. You understand? Even upon all, whatever will not change the final figure. You understand? Between His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo and His Excellency former President John Dramani Mahama.
So the NDC should forget about 2020.
Oh, they should. Let me tell you something. All these demonstration that it will end up with nothing. You understand? Because as they said, because we all want the peace of Ghana. You understand? That is the reason why we are championing peace. As they have men, we also have men. You understand me? but for the sake of peace. That is the reason why we, the MPP, we let our supporters, our people, as I'm talking to you, the last time North I was open constituency, we intend to go for a victory walk. You understand? And they too, we heard, they too want to have a victory walk demonstration. What happened was that we decided to call off our people. You understand? We should not, because it will trigger something different. So we call off. And as I'm talking to you up till now, we have not, you understand, gone to our victory walk. We just put it aside because we have to let Ghana to still go. You understand? And I keep on saying, this election is not do or die. It's not the end of election in Ghana. There will be election, election, up to thy kingdom come. So, in you, nkachi kama keba kayada, keba kaza, at the end of the day, kana tashi kaftakati demonstration, go one time. Kema kai tunanin kanka. As much as kana try to protect interest in one interest in ka, one cikin ke protect.
Wasu suna gan kamar matasa da wasu suna gan ba aiki. Suna gan government na zai zo ya ba su aiki according to promises during election campaigning na. Su ne ba su ci ba to don wannan su sun je.
My brother, Yankuri, Kokaduba, even in America, all over the world, are quite deficit of unemployment. Can't understand it. Kaduba in Ghana, His Excellency Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo, initiate Sunapko, planting for food. A lot of Wananduka are enrolled. A lot of the youth in Nigeria. Can't understand. Ama mutum kumankana nam, baka zama kachi, government sectors do kayachuk. Can't understand it. As a citizen katashi, you have to try to learn one skills. Nina zamanga, ni ndanatashi, ni mechanic, na koyo refrigeration and air conditioning, na carry NVTI, na koyo aiki mobile phone, na chemuni first in the mukafara, both unlocking and decoding. Na yafika yi aiki de wakabakanka. Can't understand because rayuwa baka say in the za kaka take a fine kanka ba. But kaka always cannot depend on government. Ka depend kanka. Kema try ka learn one up, ka create one up, ka ba kanka. So that katachi da safi ka take a samu daily bread inka. The only thing abinda kake need government iyimaka, tanyika. Sheni kama policies in Nana Akufo-Addo ikawo. Free senior high school. Yaran nan waɗanda suka kare wai sun ti next wanga yaro na ya ni Ghana cardin shi with his admission letter te karbi kudi biya te university. Can't understand na domin government ba yanda za yi kana zama government zo sa kudi kutukun.
Amma akwai wani government wani party ya promise kama ya zo bari waɗanda za su je tertiary institutions 2021 su je free waɗanda kamar yana mutane suka yi imani da free SHS waɗansu kuma su yi imani da policies na NDC suka propose shi sa suna gan kamar wanga inda ba su samu ba don mistakes in electoral commission na su wurin su do or die affair ne wani na kamar this is the only chance yanzu ga daga kai magana ce kamar so they will have to go and work and pay but these people are looking at an alternative that doesn't require for them to pay.
Okay, Nkaduba, policy in His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, based on the tertiary, is one of the best policy even in Europe, in America. Can't understand.
Na understand one no. Ama na goda kama motivation mutani na suke protest for.
Motivation na wanga wipe me. Ka te school ka arka kare. Nka kare. mbaka da wajen kwana an help ka with rate advance.
Ban ja gada ma wannan ba.
Ka understand?
Ina gwada kaman ba supporters in NDC da yanzu ai muna batun protest na suke yin da yana NDC zai yi proof kaman an rig whether it will change the results or not. But su dai abin da ke kan hankalin su kenan. Shi kake gwada kaman mutane su duba interests. Now if people are going to consider their interests, won't they look at the alternative policies that the NDC promised to implement when they come into power? Wouldn't they consider that to be motivated to ye protesting now?
Fully free tertiary and absorbed by the government is not going to be feasible.
Like the NDC said the SHS would not be feasible.
Yes. Sunchewa is not being feasible.
NDC never said free SHS not feasible.
And we've been able to prove them wrong.
So
but
they can also prove you wrong.
When it comes to tertiary, there is difference between tertiary, the level of...
But the numbers at the SHS are far higher than at the tertiary level.
But Kaduba, in terms of academia, Kaduba, tertiary level, Abu Buanda, Zaka require, compared to SHS. Far gap. Can't understand it, man.
Okay, Honorable Mungudi. Yasuneshi Summit. You've listened to Honorable Chairman Yafadi abubuwan yake gan kaman mutane ya fi su consider to abandon all these agitations, the results and they and to declare and gazette and gaba. Let's focus on our nation building and do this together.
Like they say, peace is a byproduct of justice. You cannot.
Is it always the case?
It is always the case. When people feel that their rights is being taken away from them, they will revolt, and there will be chaos. But when everybody moves in a country where his or her rights is being respected, there will be peace. Because I know that you will not come and do something to me that will create a disadvantage to me. So the NDC, like I said, is doing something within the ambit of the law. Unlike what happened in 2012, and there was Suzuka Jesuka say of brass sports, Mungan videos, look at your Mungan videos, and look at videos man circulates. I can pass a glass of mutani, the ababai, why because election then we go in their favor. And say that the Domi Kwabina, there is one thing. When one of those charged LPP fanatics at that time say yes, started shishikas. Now you bombi almost say Yeniabri. The audio is still available. That guy was not even arrested, even though the investigation has finished. Can't understand. So there have been worse. We have seen it. In 2012, the MPP protested before they went to court. They went to court on the 27th of December. That is after Christmas. So if the MPP today conveniently are telling them, go to court. Go to court. When did they go to court the next day? And when Afarijan declared the results in 2012, and they said they did not agree, then the next day, they walked to the courts. They gathered their evidence, which was thrown away anyway, before they proceeded to the court. He said, Subari, Kasu stampede, they should not force the NDC. The NDC will go to court if they feel that it is necessary to go to court. They will go. NDC has your court, and they feel it's necessary. And Maba one day you force NDC, is your court. Brother na, ya magana ya chewa come on. Oh, politician, abichi ne kachi da safi, jomama be sani ba kufaru. It's true. Ama politician, policies should determine the kind of food you put on your table. The policies of the government will determine the kind of food you put on your table. If the policies of the government is not favorable, I've been seeing the like of the table, the policies should determine. Even though she say maba, the government base are kudi kotokunka. It's true, but policies I has a my achieve between free SHS. Okay, is it not the policy of the government? So when the government here have policies in the day help as a young person, come here in the coffee. There are people in the schools who can believe in the policies of the NDC, and they believe that they voted for the NDC because soon again come on policies and then the NDC Couch Manifesto now will help them. So in this one come amba so raw deal but gaskiya be happen cikin election number. They have the right to hit the streets. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are protecting the interests of your mama. It is their interest because they believe commander your mama is a president. That's why people go and protest. In 2012, I don't believe Akufo-Addo and his kids were on the streets with the MPP people. I don't believe that those days when they were training Delta forces, the invisible forces, to be their arm, their military arm for the 2016 elections, Akufo-Addo's kids were part. They were not part. So anyone argument in the Shiba now to the election itself. For example, Techiman South. And Chemunaway MPP are win. Up to today, among the coalition sheets and they can go out come MPP are win. How are you about Samba? And this be the she. And this is your constituency presiding officer.
And this be the she.
And this be the she. Bambu the she. So Bambu was Bamba because there's nothing. Kagami, the law says that.
But NDC has claimed they have every.
We have all the pink sheets.
Yes.
I a pink sheet. I do coalition center. I go a pink sheet.
Yes.
She aduba numbers in. Naka agrishan nazana. Naka carry. She certified come. This is the coalition sheet, and this is the end result of the thing. Ko sign. She about ko copies. In fact, the law says that a pastes. Wouldn't in that calculating a pastes wouldn't.
She said, ideally, you have to coalition, polling stations, you have to go and results now.
In fact, even polling stations, at least I know my polling station won't paste.
Yes, the results, so that everyone can.
So that the public will see.
That's part of the transparency.
And you know the funny thing, it was an MPP member who took that matter to court prior to the 2016 elections. And the Supreme Court ruled that co-winning results are bar each of the party and then are pasted at the place where the thing was taking place. So as we speak, Techiman South, the NDC doesn't have it. NDC AJ wouldn't presiding member now. Bamu, I don't have it. It's with the regional. We went to the regional. Regional said it's with national. As we speak, the MPP themselves don't have the results, parliamentary results. Techiman South, but the EC says that it is for the MPP. 130. So now it's 137, 137. But the truth of the matter is that Techiman South, especially by coalition, Amanchi Woniawi, Zabzugu, Kaganum gets in that Gamunawa, the cameraman and the other panelists, Shah Kauka Kenny, MPP parliamentary candidate. The NDC parliamentary was nowhere to be found. Shaka Shigatindaki, Shaka Zamaka colleagues. Right here, she's Anna. Yes, sign, yes, carry, yes, cheating. She bar MPP parliamentary candidate in that. By this, I declare you as the MP elect. Is that how elections are elected? Is that how PCs are elected? Is that how coalition is that? Is the PC elect? So, Anche was absolute. Suskawi. When the NDC doesn't have the coalition sheet, when they went to
what happened? Where was the NDC when all that was happening?
I use brute force, man. I use brute force. Kekana na bindiga. Waka na bindiga. Aka kore mutani. We munche bamyada. We munche we there's a problem. So today the NDC actually have a problem. So andoki aja shika chikun woni daki. Okay. Makuna so for the sake of transparency, call the NDC parliamentary candidates with at least one of his members come inside. So I call it. Oh, okay. I agree that this figure is Wanganga. That is another thing. In case of Esikadu Ketan, the same thing. And results and carry and declare winner the next day. Because I can no, I recall it. And the funny thing is that in the an bad chance for Esikadu and recall it. So I got you now. The one who lost, Jogati, he lost the night in Nakakol it. The next day, by some miracle, he won. Security also the same thing. Takwa Iswaim, Duka. He lost. Then by some miracle, the next day, some numbers came from somewhere, added, and he won. Shemukachi, okay, if you have given these people the right for recoalition, give us also the right. Okay, you said somebody has won it, Tesmasa. Okay, we are asking for recoalition. Recollate it. What is it that in Esikado, in Sekiri, also in Takwa and Shuaim, when the MPP called for recollation, you agreed and you did it. But in the Kamuna, you don't want to agree. So the whole thing is murky. And if NDC and the over 6 million people who voted for the NDC feel that the NDC cannot protect their votes, NDC may protect votes. So next time NDC will like, cool, I'm going to vote. I'm a protect vote. We need to protect the democracy that we are having, so that going forward, today, MPPK power is all convenient. Power can change hands. So what power will change hands in 2024 without admitting that what happened today is correct. Can understand, right? So power change hands in 2024. She president in the years of Sheshima, no. Maybe Ghana will exist for another billion years, who knows? But on the second and the Kiyama days over. Shawa Samuel Lead and the Shima, I'm president. Kungani, Imana Rama. Will not make progress. She said it is important that Anwanga. In 2012, MPP demonstrated. In 2014, I remember, soon I run them away, Agbe, they were all over the streets. Occupy Ghana. They were doing it. The beneficiaries of Occupy Ghana were Sukeching Abinchiova. You understand? So if somebody is on the street demonstrating today, he knows what he's saying. Then the last thing that I will talk about, he talked about Kodeyo. Kodeyo, and let's go to the figures. So no, so come the EC must address some of the anomalies that is contained in their releases. Kodeyo, the way their tally has agreed with what the EC has brought out. Some days later, issued a statement again, telling the EC to address the arithmetic anomalies that they have done. So
yes, now if they realize they've made mistakes, it's only in line that they...
So she agreed. So it means the Kodeyo's first initial agreement was flawed. So it means that they made a mistake.
Yes, so they made a mistake and they have admitted that.
So nobody should tell us that Kodeyo agreed with the EC.
Initially,
but now they
because you want to stand on the leg of them not agreeing with the facts, right?
Yes.
So some people also have the right to stand on the other leg, which says they agreed.
So points. The point is, there are so many. Look, these elections, Esojamine was not added in the tally of the votes. Later they said it was not Esojamine. And you know what the EC does? They respond to everything. So now, no, we are not deleting things from the BVRs.
No, if you are accused of doing something, is it not right?
To address far important things on how the numbers are dancing, we are having arithmetic acrobatics.
The EC chair last week met with the EU observer mission, election observer mission, to go over some of the issues with the figures. The EC is trying to respond in a manner to make sure some of these things...
This EC, with all due respect, is the most incompetent electoral commission. All the commissioners.
Is the NDC not saying this out of bitterness?
Which bitterness?
Of losing the election.
Which bitterness of losing? Is this the first time we are losing an election?
No.
Didn't we lose the election in 2016?
But
if indeed we have lost this election, it will not be the first time. NDC has lost election in 2000. NDC lost in 2004. NDC lost in 2016. So losing an election is not something new. We have not been in power, so we have become so we are losing and we don't understand. We lost in 20. We were the sitting government. We lost. And the president at that time called the winner and congratulated him. And he gave a concession speech. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has never in his life gave a concession speech before. That, I have admitted I have lost. If you go to 2008, we look at some of the things that happened. 2008, Anso Aje caught on a holiday. Anso Aje caught on a Saturday. Just because. So we don't want to go back. The NDC is fighting a legitimate cause. The NDC is doing things to make sure that the democracy of this country is protected. If everything is done right and it comes out that indeed the NDC has lost the election, we will agree. Accept the verdict. Allow the president who has been declared winner, not selected, because right now we have selected presidents. if everything is done right, we have the president-elect. And then we'll move on.
And if it turns out he's the president,
yeah, we'll move on. We'll congratulate him and move on. I mean,
Okay.
the NDC has always
Okay.
been, that's what we
Um,
call the Democratic Congress.
So you're still watching Baina News Stall, and the phone lines have been open now. You can reach us on 0265 455 889. 0265 455 889 is the number to reach us on to make your contributions, corrections, seek clarifications, and then we can move on. You can also send WhatsApp messages to, you can send your text messages via WhatsApp to the same number, 0265 455 889. We have a few messages on Facebook that I would like to read now. Positive Change Medina says, politics of backbiting isn't Ghana's bane of retrogression. It is rather hypocrisy of the so-called voice of conscience who only uses their brains when a particular party is in power and use their stomachs to reason on the same things they condemned previously, even when there's video evidence of what they did. Congratulations to lawyer Francis Osu, MP-elect for Medina constituency. Thank you very much, Positive Change Medina. Positive Change Medina, you should be specific with some of the claims. It's not clear who you are referring to in this message, but thank you for sending in your message anyway. Peter Ebo Edu also says, Brother Abdul Samed Isaka Bandago, the people are very much aware of the current happenings. What makes you think protesting will bring you the needed results? Thank you for sending that one in also. Atu Kwamina Anderson sends this one in and he says, can you be a bit realistic? Can we be a bit realistic in our submission? How can you say that an election announcement which every media house in Ghana covered in real time was pre-recorded? This is the height of propaganda and it's just far-fetched. More fire. And we have Manicent Mpuntu Dabre. Manicent Mpuntu Dabre. He says, wow, all of these three guys are my people. Great to see them. I love them all. One love. One love to you, Manicent. Thanks for watching and sending in your message. And he comes in with another message that says, I'm really enjoying the show. Samed and Chairman Bufu. Bumfu. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Bumfu. Thank you for sending that one in, Manicent. And Sahada to Alhassan also says, well done, Abdul Samed. And here we have Hasib Aniyaz also saying, enjoying the submissions from both parties. Thank you very much for sending in your messages. We are enjoying. The phone lines are still open. 0265 455 889. 0265 455 889 is the number to reach us on. You can also send your text messages via WhatsApp on the same line. We are fast drawing to the end of this program, but there has been fires in markets recently, and it is alarming because there is an attempt to link it to the agitations of the NDC and the desire to be violent. And so I would want to ask you, Chairman, the fires, are they mere accidents, or there are people who are planning to cause mayhem and they are using the fires as a means to start? And what does this mean for our security as a country?
Okay, for me, I don't have any evidence that shows it's our opponents who are behind all these things. All this fire here, fire then. Maybe it's true negligence of some of the traders. Sometimes in the markets when they close, They normally leave their gas, coal pot, and sometimes the wiring. You understand? They need to redesign the wiring and so on and so forth, an illegal connection. All of this can trigger these fire outbreaks. And you know we are in December, in the dry season. Anything concerning about fire or touching, it will trigger to cause this fire. So me, with this, I don't have much to say. And I will not sit down here and said it's NDC who are behind these fire outbreaks. You understand? And because in anything we have to be realistic. You understand? But the security are on top of it. They are the only ones that can do what? Can detect to know if it's human or arson or whatever. That one, I leave it in the hand of the security. But for me to sit down here and pinpoint, say it's NDC, because I don't have any evidence. I don't have anything to prove to that. You understand? Based on this fire outbreak, that's the only thing that the only thing that I have, and I want to tell Ghanaians, if it is people who deliberately doing that, they should put an end to it. You understand? Because at the end of the day, we have only one Ghana. You understand? Whether we like it or not, whether you are NDC or MPP, we are all one. Because at the end of the day, we all goes to, if today I'm not feeling well, if Samed here, he'll come and visit me. If today, whether my mother, any of my family pass away, he will definitely come and visit me. Same as me too, him too. So that is how we have to be together, being as a one nation. We should put all these things aside. But to me, everything is in the hand of the security. They have to see through to it.
Okay. So what about the security situation in the country? Over the weekend, we saw a video of MPP so-called thugs, which are referred to as party security, i.e. the Kandahar boys and bulldogs up north, invade the premises of the Northern Development Authority, claiming that the board members are NDC and that they should be removed. And they gave a deadline of, I think, today, where they will be meeting. And in that report, the one of them, I suppose is a leader amongst them, made certain remarks referring to people as enemies and that we are ready for trouble and all those things. Do you think it bodes well for the security in Ghana?
I think I don't second this because I'm a peace-loving person and I want to extend it to my fellow brothers up north. They should desist of all these things. Because at the end of the day, I keep on saying, both NDC and MPP, we are each brother keeper. We are all one. If an MPP is an institution, he wasn't an enemy, because he is there to serve his mother Ghana. You understand me? So I saw the video and I saw their reaction. And we can't build a country like this. You understand? We normally build a country once we all come together to see through to it. What we have seen, this is the way we have to move so that Ghana will be a country that me and you all and our family will live in peace. That's the reason why I keep on always advising the youth. They should not go and foment trouble. They should desist from, they should not let anybody to lure them with money for them to go and foment trouble. Because at the end of the day, we are all one. We are all Ghanaians. You understand? Because most of the, you see someone sitting down up there, sending a lot of things on inciting messages on a social media. I keep on asking myself, he should think of, he also has a family here. If today Ghana is in turmoil. His family also were also involved. You understand? So with all these things, that's the reason why I always calling for peace, 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 so that peace will, and I'm sure by the God grace, inshallah, Ghana will still remain in peace. And our brothers NDC also, I hope for the demonstration, they have 100% right to demonstrate. And at the end of the day, I'm 100% sure that Ghana will be the winner, not NDC, not MPP. So I think that is what I have.
All right. On that, Brother Abdul Samad, so you've heard what Chairman said. If the market fires, for instance, the NDC chairman Ampofo, has been accused of making certain remarks in a secretly recorded video where he was addressing party supporters. I think that was sometime last year or the year before. And among some of the remarks in that tape was the burning of markets if things don't go the NDC's way. Now, we are in a situation where things have not gone the NDC's way, and within a short space of time, we are seeing market fires. Could these be linked to those statements?
Well, first of all, I would say that I've heard the tape, and I don't see where in that supposed voice of the chairman of the NDC making reference to burning of markets. All I know is the attack on the EC chairperson and all that. And I don't want to dwell on that because the case is in court, so it's up to the courts to make a determination on that. Then secondly, my heart goes out to the markets women, now to some extent men, because now it is not only the women who are in the markets. Yes, when you go to Kantamatu, I think the people who dominate there are the men, for the unfortunate things that have happened, Kanishi Markets, Kantamanto, and I think the others that I can't remember. It is very unfortunate that some of these things are happening. For me, sitting here, I don't believe that the NDC as a political party will try to do that to gain. To what extent, to what end will the NDC decide, or some members of the NDC say that we are going to burn markets? I don't think that it is right. For example, as happened after the elections in 2012, we saw something similar like that. But I don't think that we can accuse the NPP of doing that in 2012. Neither can we accuse the NDC of doing it in 2020. So for me, I think that if it is a case of some people doing it, arson is a criminal act. Those involved should be apprehended and made to face the full rigors of the law. I think today on one of the newspapers on TV3, I heard one of the presenters reading out in one of the newspapers that one of the arsonists of the Kanishi market has been arrested. And if that is true, I think it's good news.
It's good.
Whoever I see, whether he's doing it for anybody, he should be made to face the full rigors of the law. Anybody who is found to have engaged himself in this unfortunate act should be made to face the crime has no political color. In Ghana, unfortunately, when people commit crime, in order to get out of it, they will go and wear some political color. You understand? So he knows that when he wears MPP colors, maybe MPP will come and save him. If he wears the NDC colors, maybe NDC will come and save him. They will march and then try. If you have committed a crime, you should be made to face the full rigors of the law. So for me, the market fires are unfortunate. The security agencies must up their game, investigate if indeed there are people who are doing this. If it is not the case, that like my brother said, that there is a case of faulty wiring, illegal connection, a lack of safety measures in the markets, we should take a second look at it and make sure that those things are adhered to. And maybe our markets need some re-engineering. We have to re-engineer our markets. If you take a look at the KGTM market today, I don't think that we'll probably have that kind of, because of the way it has been engineered and things like that. I'm not saying it is not prone to fire, it can happen. But maybe when we re-engineer our markets, if you enter the Kantomanto market and you look at it, you realize that, Charlie, this thing, when there's a disaster, it will be dangerous. I heard the vice president saying that the Kantomanto market will be re-engineered. It's good news. If it is to be done, I think they should do it. You understand? So that our markets will become a very nice place, because people lose money. Okay, thousands and millions of Ghana cedis are lost whenever these fires happen. I think before the elections, we saw what happened at the pedestrian market at Nkrumah Circle, where a lot of people lost. And then if you see the tears in their eyes, I don't think that if you go, for example, you say that the NDC has lost an election, or you believe that the NDC has not lost, the NDC has been cheated, and then you think that the best way to go, I mean, the people in the market, how do you know that all of them are NPP? You understand? So I don't think that any right-thinking NDC person will go and do that. So I believe if there are people who are doing it, they are criminals. And then the police, the fire service, whoever are in charge should just get them arrested. If it is a case of problems of safety, they should be addressed, and then make sure that we don't have these things in our market again. So that's what I can say with regards to the
market fires.
Yeah.
And then the security issues, especially with regards to the video that emerged of MPP so-called security, party security, invading the premises of the NDA, Northern Development Authority, and demanding that all the board members resign because, or be fired because they are NDC people.
Well, I think that we are practicing the democracy where we need to battle with the winner takes all. So there are people who believe that, okay, the party has been in government for 4 years. I didn't get anything. So if today, what the EC has projected, we have won again, okay, this is our time. So probably the results didn't go well. So there is always this conspiracy theory. So for example, my brother sitting here, he is the first vice chairman of the MPP in Ayawaso North. So maybe the results didn't go well. There are people who can come and accuse, oh, we know him, he's NDC, his brother is his brother. So there will always be that conspiracy theory of people who want to see your back because things didn't go the way they wanted. You understand? There are places where there are issues. We know of, for example, Baina here, there are issues where they realize that the thing has overturned. Okay, they lost the election. So there will always be confusion. You understand? So these people, I don't know which of the district or which of the parts of the north. You know, now the northern region has been divided into three. We have Savannah, we have northeast, we have northern. So which?
Well, they were from, I think it's in Tamale.
It's Tamale. I have not seen the video. So I think that they have made an allegation. And I don't think the people who appointed the board of the Northern Development Authority were appointed by the president. I don't think President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo will appoint NDC people, unless they came in the guise of moods. I'm trying to understand. But if they are technocrats that the president believes they can work, these are, because it's a development authority. Maybe these are engineers, these are people.
Is it a security concern that these people still have the audacity to invade such premises and make statements that our enemies, we are watching our enemies, we will show them where they come from, like those kind of statements these times?
You see,
we had the NDC hold a protest, and we heard what the vice chairman said, and the chairman, there is a report of the NDC Northern Regional Chairman's farm is, I think, 413 acres, burning.
Yeah.
You understand? So when these things start coming up,
That is what I am saying. These things that have happened have emboldened some of the things that have happened, have emboldened some of these youth to take up the law into their own hands. If you feel that the people there are NDC, you do as your assertion. Use the legitimate means, writes to the president, telling him that these people, this is what we have found out. Let the president get some people to investigate. If indeed you think that they are NDC,
they are protesting.
yes, they are protesting. It is their right to protest. The way you protest is a problem. You cannot go and threaten people because you think that your government or your party is in government and it is your time to eat. So you just use your muscles and go and do so many things. What happened, you see, these things are things that are just the ripple effect of what happened in 2017 when people did things and were left off the hook. So a security person was, appointed by the president. Some people by name Delta Forces, because they feel that they don't like the man, went there, beat him and dragged him out of the office. They were arrested, taken to court. As the process was going on, people kept to attack the court and they were freed.
So with the possibility of that and knowing the kind of tension we have, do you feel it's a security?
It is a security issue. Because right now, nobody can dispute the fact that there's a seeming tension in the country. Because if you have an election where
is it seeming or it is?
It is.
There's tension.
Yes, there's tension.
Okay.
You understand? If the largest opposition party says they have not agreed to a results that have been declared, it means that there's a problem. And for me, this whole thing, I believe that the voices of conscience in this country have somehow gone to sleep.
Is there anything like the voice of conscience?
Yes, there are people in this country who we believe that some people listen to when they talk.
Like
that is why we even have the National Peace Council. The National Peace Council so far, the only thing they will always say is, NDC accepts the results.
What did they say in 2012?
What did they say in
Yes.
2012? In 2012, when the thing happened, the late Bobby Wahab, who was then the head of the National Peace Council, met with Akufo-Addo, listened, and in that time, there was a petition that the MPP wrote, okay, and then the Peace Council, together with the NDC and the MPP, and the chairman of the Electoral Commission at that time, Afarijan, they accepted the petition. They had the discussion, and Afarijan said that this petition that you have brought, I have taken it, I have assessed it. To me, I don't think it has any effect on the results. I'll go ahead and declare the results. You understand? And that if there's anything, we can address it in court. You remember when Afarijan was in court, I took over to him, he said, go to court. You see that going to court is not easy.
Not easy, yes.
You understand? Because it was Afarijan who told them. And it was a meeting between the Peace Council, NDC, NPP, before that thing was agreed on. So the peace...
Personnel change.
Yes. So
Time
I'm saying that
has passed.
this
They have been
is a Peace Council. Have not been able to do the needful. They could have at least.
But the EC just released a statement saying the NDC's claim of sending a petition is not true.
It's not true.
Yes.
Okay, you are telling me.
Yes.
I
saw a report on the GNA.
Okay. I'm not. This EC can claim anything. This EC has also been surprised.
Okay.
I'm not even surprised. But what I'm saying is that the security of this country remains paramount. And like I said, it is up to the security agencies. You know, we are a fledgling democracy and things need to be changed. We should not have police service or an IGP who thinks that he owes an allegiance to the ruling government and not be able to crack the whip on the persons that are within the political party that is in government. For me, I think that as a people, we should be, the police or the security agents should make sure that they apply the law, no matter whose ox is God. They should not be like, these people, there should not be different set of rules for different set of people. Then if these people do it and it is wrong, they should be held accountable. You know, so many things have happened even prior to the election. So sometimes I look at this, like this guy who they say has threatened the president and he was arrested. The president is the supreme, I mean, the topmost first person to be protected in this country. But in the same vein, we have had a sitting member of parliament sit on TV, live TV, and insult and threaten a judge.
Are you justifying?
I'm not justifying. That's what I'm saying, that it is wrong for the person to sit on TV and threaten the president. And it is also wrong for another person to also threaten a judge.
So because it is wrong, both have to be punished.
That's what I'm saying, that when somebody does something and he is not punished, it emboldens the other person to do it. If the member of parliament had been punished, you think that guy will sit on TV or radio and make that statement? You say, hey, Charlie, the person is... Look, so I what I'm trying to say is that we should, as a country, come to that consensus that there is no MPP law, there is no NDC law. What we have is the law of Ghana, which everybody must be made to be under. So you don't come and do it because you understand. So these people are emboldened because they believe that when they do it, there's nothing that will happen to them. So that's what I think should be done. The law must be applied equally. We are
All
not
right.
in an animal farm.
All too soon, we have come to the end of this show, but before we sign off, I'll take your closing remarks in 1 minute. Chairman, you give us your closing remarks.
Okay. Magodi, the Wanga Kranda, Akakra, both parties from North Ayawaso North constituency. Mokazode, Moka deliberate can what and so issues and like a concern Garimo Ghana. And not thank the station crew.
Baina TV.
Yeah, by the TV, the Mutanina young Ayawaso North, the former parliamentary candidate in Alaji Manaf Usman Alidu, the entire executive Sinaduka, Godi Musu, the Nasan Command definitely Sumasuna do program and Kumanasan consequently. Akwai wana kuma akakira dole mun so su mu engage each other duka yana cikin development in gari kuma uli abin da zan appeal ma sisters na da brothers ina kama mu duka mu unite mu yi guda mu duba Islam first before komi so that abin da ke nan duka Allah kawo muna kwanciyar hankali mu duka mu yi tafiya da al'amuranmu a cikin Ghana. At the end of the day, Ghana win ba MPP ba NDC ba. So the message in the nake da shin da zan ba constituency.
Okay. Boss Summit, your closing remarks in a minute.
Yeah, so by and large, it has been a fruitful discussion with my big brother.
And your in-law.
And my in-law. So today when you go home, tell my sister, Osile that I'm sending my regards.
And today you collect.
Yeah. But before you go, I'll collect my
you collect.
Yes, before you. So I think that, like you said, I mean, it's a democracy. I mean, we have our disagreements. It doesn't mean that we are enemies. I mean, for somebody like me, I believe that democracy is a competition of ideas. It is not like somebody would say, whenever we are going to an election, it's to count heads, not to cut heads. So by and large, we are all calling for peace. But like we said, you cannot have peace without justice. So the right things must be done to make sure that Ghana, which is, as I say, the oasis of peace in a very much turbulent West African terrain, will continue. And then also our democracy, which is the beacon of democracy in Africa, will continue to grow and live leaps and bounds. So, and then my regards to all my people in Ayawaso North and our Honorable Member of Parliament and Member of Parliament elects, Honorable Yusuf Isaka Jaja, and his hard-working wife, Aja Farida Jaja. So, and everybody who is watching us today. So that's the comments I have to make by way of my last comments, as you said.
All right. So thank you very much, Abdusamed Isaka Bandago and Ibrahim Sani Vambel, as you are known, the first vice chairman of the Ayawaso North, the NPP in the Ayawaso North constituency. And all too soon, we've come to the end of today's edition of Baina News Stall with me, Ijara Larry. Thank you very much, all those who sent your messages in. Money sent, we are grateful for what your contribution to the show, and everyone else. This show has been brought to you by my production team, ably led by one Ahmed Saeed, aka Dr. Vibe. Is a big man who is ensuring that all the things technical, the pictures you see, the sounds you hear come to you exactly as they should. And there's Yusuf Yushao, who is also supporting him, and there's Prince Platt, aka, who supports the team. Together we say thank you for joining us today. Make a date with us on Friday, 8 a.m. as we bring you another edition of Baina News Story. It promises to be interesting as we deliberate on national issues. I leave you with this short message from Brian Tracy, who says, and I quote, "Make your life a masterpiece. Imagine no limitations on what you can be, have, or do." Yes, make your life, no one else's life, your life, make it a masterpiece, and imagine no limitations on what you can be, have, or do. To my Christian brothers and sisters, it is the Christmas season. We say Happy Christmas to all of you, and enjoy, stay safe. See you on Friday. Assalamu alaikum.
Salamu alaikum uwa, muna gaisuwa. Mun zo muku da wannan shiri don ku samu karuwa. Haya TV da Liti Creation mun fito da sabuwa, tare da ambassador Peace don mu samu sharkuwa. Wannan rayuwa da muke ciki babu gaskiya, ana ta yaƙe-yaƙe, ana zama cikin damuwa. Ni dai Liti sai na gan kamar na yi tsintuwa, saboda cikin rayuwa ta babu wani furuntuma. Na yi rantsuwa da Allah mai sammai da kasai. Rayuwar mu a nan duniya fa yana da ban tausayi. Zama cikin hadari da zama cikin tsautsayi, haɗin kai ne ba mu da shi, sannan kuma ga sun kai. Ku bar mu yi daya mu kama hanya mu je, mu nemi zaman lafiya ko da nawa ne mu sai. Neme shi tuntuni, neme shi a gurguje. To ambassador Peace tare da ita, kuma me kuka ce?
Garin namu ne mu duba kai ya rarrabe. One love, peace, muna son unity. Ni da kai mu yi guda, don power is the ability. Ka so na waje kamar na gidanka, no kalami. Domin mu duka mun zo ne, mu duka za mu tafi. Malamai na wasi wai mu ganci na mu bari. Munafiki munafuka shiri ba ta muna gari. Da yawo base to base, suna kulla shari bai da kyau. Ku bar mu gamu, suriya guda. Hausawa na cewa sun siya madaurin ki daya. Hannuna da hannunka, she mu kamanta sunna. Tunda dai mu munte, to kan mu manta da baya.
Idan kamun kai, ya fi kamun hula da na laraba ni da kai. Tashin hankali da siyasa zai zama na bacin rai. A barka ka tada zaune sai hauka feed the right. You know I yell bai. Peace over war. Let's get two fingers in the sky, symbolize it's nothing but love. Then this is what I call the bitter truth. Mu kyale wani siyasa zango youth. Hey, da mu so juna, mu ringa yin junan mu nasi'a. Makareta ke fadi wa shurum ya fi komai, duban shurum ya fi komai, da bebe ya fi kowa.
A gaishe ka, ni futa ranka ya dade. A ja zamanin ka zuwa can ai ta bangare. To zaman lafiya zuwa rubutu, Allah maimaita muna shekara da shekaru. To bangon nan na da yawa. Akwai na kalangare, pepe kani ka ne pepe, yayan ka ne balarabe. Wai menene fade kishi, fadan da gaske. A bar ni in kashe pepe mu yi zaman ba annabe. Musulmi ya ga musulmi yau, washe ya dake. Ka tambaye shi me ya faru, sai ya ce
ce ma an rabe kafe abin ka nawa ne mu ga mu ai mu kankashe mu rika tutan zumunci mu duba kan mu tabe.
I stand for peace, so I had haters. Medina so some bum fake, so I got my true soldiers. So stand at peace, all troublemakers. Dakanta muke fuji shade 100 meters. Mubadu gaba mu taro mu yankali mu yi guda. Mubadu fada mu so juna iso mu ci gaba. Ba mu jin ba mu bada da be fit da kai. I stand for peace, not endorse I'm bending na yada.
Kaduba can arewa di fada ne mutane na taraba wa duba Libya, Tunisia, jinin da aka zuwa duba Somalia, Rwanda, duba Sudani. Kana ba mu haka dina ce muna da hankali. Ba kaman da so mu bani muka zama haka ne albarkacin Allah ne rokan sa muke yi tahiru ke fadi muku na ce ku ji da ni soyayyen juna duka yana cikin ba bambanci balle wawanci a haje dokan gari ka ce wai bandi dana kai ne wa na ce muna zumunci peace love and harmony muke ba kowani.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin ina fa almajiri ina fa malami kowa ya saurari. There is strength in numbers if we move as borders we can do more wonders. I believe in oneness. Da kanta wani magana kai da dan wanka ku sasanta gafarta abota nan da nan. I know we can. I know we can. We what we wanna be. We wanna be. Akwai soyayya. To za mu iya yi.
Kai wakan gabar na tuna da wani alati. Matan su furu jikoki da yaran shi su duka na cikin babban gida guda don ya gwada musu zumunci da son juna. Unguwan nan duka kowa ya ci amfani shi mu je yawo mu zo mu ci abinci gidan shi. Allah ka ji kan Alhaji domin bayan mutuwan shi gadon da raba aka soma fada aka manta da love. Ana jaye yayi da kani na yanke mu duba Boko Haram. Ana kace yaran mu sun lalace manyan mu sun da ke don duniya kai karshe.
Amma wallahi mun ji daɗin wannan nasiha da kuka bamu zamu rika shi musamman hakika amma Allah ke yayewa shi kuma ke karuwa rashin sani baya da kyau Allah ka bamu ganuwa. To Hayat TV mun gode ko muna marmari mu sake ganin ku akan wata sabuwar dandali Liti Creation kide ku sai a hankali mu yi zaman lafiya da juna don fa shine